Welcome everyone to this session of Bible analysis interpretation system to discuss about to understand about the launcher and also to understand a quick demo of it, how it functions, and also the salient features of this particular application. First and foremost, what is the requirement of such an application? When we are being using Bible since years now, and what is the requirement of any such applications? Point number one, when we talk about this particular application, it is an interpretation application. Means it, by the values what we derive from Bible, it is going to interpret the possible weaknesses, the possible reproducibility patterns, and also very importantly it's going to correlate with any existing symptoms in the patient. The most important activity of this particular software, the application, is to standardize the interpretation procedure. So with years of experience of interpretation, it's very much possible that sometimes we may miss around with some interpretation patterns. We may not look into the patterns, we may not look into the reproducibility part of it, or even we may not be able to understand the values what is being given by the application constantly. So we are using Bible, but as we are using Bible, there is a lacunae that the interpretation part is always on the technician or a practitioner side. The expertise of the practitioner will determine the interpretation. Hence, with my experience in interpretation part of it, with my experience with the meridians, with my experience in the clinical practice, this application has been developed, and this application is so designed that it is going to be customized to every practitioner. Each and every practitioner, it is customized. It is customized to a region. It is customized to particular section of practitioners. So you are staying in Dubai, you are staying in America, you are staying in Africa, or whichever part of the continent, it doesn't matter. The software can easily get customized to that particular region. So that's how clinically what we do. We are now going to reproduce that with this particular application, ultimately to generate a meaningful report, to understand what Bible is actually telling us, to understand the patterns, because understanding patterns is very difficult. It requires a little bit of experience in understanding Bible readings, and patterns doesn't only mean the diagram, patterns only doesn't mean the globe, it means even in the values, even in the imbalances what is being cited in different sections of Bible application. So keeping these things in mind, we have designed this application, and this application is going to take care of several lacunae what we will be doing in our clinical practice, right? So let's quickly get into the understanding of this particular website. It's very simple. All of you, if you are on your browser, you can simply come to Google and you can simply type guasaindia.com Bible, and it is going to take you to a dedicated page for this particular application. Whether you use the application or not, try to understand what it does. It's very important, right? Now you can open in your own computers, and then you can see this is a launcher image, and this is event. So from now on, all the events which I am going to conduct will be given in this particular website. It will be given with the link probably, and we'll be making arrangements for that continuous updation, right? And about the launcher itself, it's a AI powered launcher, So there is no barrier for language, there is no barrier for location, there is no barrier for any therapy, there is no barrier for any diet. Anything and anything can be done in this particular application, right? This is the first of its kind in the world where the interpretation is done in multiple stages, multiple segments, and you can give a patient report or you can give a therapeutic report. So we call it as a dual engine. So we have double AI engine running here, and it gives you very good interpretation of first of all, it's AI powered, so there is unlimited access to it. Dual GPT modes, that's the USP of it. Usually you may get applications which have only which can run on one GPT or which can run on certain commands, etc. But this is having dual GPT mode with unlimited commands. Diet regeneration is one of the salient features of this particular application, because that is a drawback. You have a bioval report in front of you, and you know that there is a weakness, but we don't know which type of diet to tell the patient, what he has to take and what he has to avoid. And without diet consideration, any therapy is incomplete, right? Whatever therapy you do, you have to consider the diet into matter. You have to look into their digestive system. It's one of the pillars, main pillars. So you can generate a separate diet regeneration, and the biggest advantage is multilingual. There is no barrier for language. Any language you want, left to right, right, indices, which moves from left to right, you can get it easily. From right to left, you can do it, but you will have to make a little bit of arrangement in the page alignment part of it. And the reports are, of course, premium. And when we talk about talking about the application itself, it should be able to differentiate between the reporting sections, whether it has to report in a simple language or a technical language, whether it has to talk about a particular sector or particular region which is affected in the human body, which is easily understandable by patient. So keeping that in mind, we have two types of reports which can be generated. Therapist report, which gives you tremendous amount of information about the energetic analysis, the technical meridian interpretations, clinical energetic correlations, adaptive physiology analysis, and detailed therapeutic focus guidance, of course, and professional practitioner reports you can get from therapeutic mode. Patient mode is very simple, patient friendly language. So it doesn't give all the technicalities, but it tells what has happened. So very clearly you get a very good report, especially the patient report. And as I told you, because it is twin GPT, there is no question of language barrier here. You can take reports in any language. There is absolutely no barrier. So we cannot enumerate all the languages here, so we have simply put few, and many more, of course. There is no limit, right? Now, one of the biggest advantages of this application is it readily generates quadra-meridian diagnosis. One of the most important diagnostic methodology in meridians. Our system doesn't function as an individual organ. It doesn't function under individual system. They are all interconnected. Now, what is widely interconnected is defined in quadra-meridian diagnosis, and the application is able to get into the inference of quadra-meridian diagnosis within seconds, right? Meridian interpretation engine, it's a separate engine which has been placed to look into only the meridians, and in coming days the reports are going to be highly refined, especially with meridian interpretation. I am pretty much strong in meridian, so I know what is more required in meridian. So we can generate tremendous amount of meridian analysis. Quadra meridian diagnosis, as I told you, it's one of the best. I have taught you in classes, but still, practical application is what is required. Adaptive physiology, this is a connection to we can say the symptoms, ED versus AD interpretation framework, So now you're doing the overlapping of energy diagram and area diagram, right? So that interpretation is done by the application adaptive reserve estimations, then energetic load distribution analysis, compensatory overactivation trends. Very, very important is autonomic nervous system. So sympathetic and parasympathetic analysis is given by the application. And obviously you have very good advantages of MGF AI interpretation, like very faster clinical workflow, intelligent pattern recognition. That's most important. And obviously it is customized to every therapist, wellness center. So when I say customized, it is customized to your therapies, it's customized to your location, it's customized to your language, it's customized to your diet. Very important. No two patients are same. So you cannot have the same formula for everyone. But because we are using AI, because we are giving certain indications about the patient condition through biowell as well as through the symptoms, you can generate tremendous amount of custom interpretation styles, region diet guidance. That's beautiful. We'll look into that. Flexible report structures, and of course personalized branding, like you're putting your logos and other things. Everything is permissible. AI powered reports and multi-clinic scalability. That's again one more very important thing is you can scale it around n number of clinics you have. There is certain considerations, but you can still do that. And also I have given a small working demo of the application, which you can all go through in your website, and it just tells you how these things are going to work, etc. And I've also provided a quick start guide, a simple visual guide to guide you how to proceed with this type of application and how to get maximum out of it, right? And it's the world's first AI powered 3-scan biowell reproducibility analysis platform. Usually we say minimum 2 scans is required, but here we demand 3 scans. And remember, the software is going to check whether the calibration is done or not before taking the scan. If calibration is not done, then immediately the scans are rejected. The report is not generated, right? That is a preliminary check which the software does on the particular scan. So whatever scans you take, the device should be calibrated before that. So you have a good engine placed to check the calibration part of it. And also 3 scans are mandatory, consecutive scans are mandatory to check the reproducibility analysis patterns. And also without 3 scans you cannot use this application, right? That's a basic requirement. It has to be done, right? And of course the reproducibility patterns are very good, and it's working fantastically anyway. And this about the user. And I have also placed the sample interpretation reports, which you can download. You can use this view sample PDF. You can download them and you can also go through them, go through the reports. Of course I'll be updating the patient report because that's updated now, right? And also one very important thing is, if you have a genuine scan of a patient, 3 scans, you can send it to us and you can take one report of that which is generated by this application, right, of any patient, and you can see how beneficial it is and how good it is for yourself, right? So we have given this option. I think you just have to fill up the form and send us the scan details, etc. At this moment it is priced at $250, and obviously it is for lifetime, and there is no charges for updates, etc., right? And obviously if you are interested, fill this form from your website, right? And right now the website stops here, but it is going to be updated with the desktop applications. So we'll be introducing the desktop app for Mac and Windows, and also on the browser. So you have 3 type of connectivity. One, you can work through browser. You can have an individual app for Mac if you are using Mac. Of course the latest ones, not the Intel ones. Okay, Intel ones, there is some architecture difference, but we can still figure out. And third is Windows. So obviously we have the program is going on. It's already in running and it's in testing, but on the web it is fine, it's working fine. So this file anybody can view right now. It's already online. So gosaindia.com/biowell, so you can view this particular file, right? So it gives you all the informations, and beyond this, if you have any doubts, you can always ping me. I can give you the details on that. Now coming to the working of this particular application, right? I will be showing right from the beginning to how to generate a report. Simple, right? First and foremost, whenever you sign up or you buy this application, you are given two very important files. You should never lose them. You understand? Because it is customized to you, it's customized to your clinic. Always remember, every particular details what you give in the form is leading to your customization. Like your address, your diet will be customized, right? Then you give the therapies, it is customized to you. Then you give your logo, that will be customized to you. Anyway, logo you will be adding by yourself, but still it's a complete customization. Whatever information you give, don't lose those files. Of course it is in our database, so we can always send it, but what happens is access will become delay, and sometimes you have patients in front of you and you lose the file. It becomes a problem, because immediately I will not be able to respond to that, right? But of course it's not that we will be having the files, of course, but to send it will be difficult. So always remember, there are two files given to you. One file which works with your Biowell application, right? You have the Biowell application with you. Use the latest one, of course. And in this Biowell application, you have your complete patient details. You have like all your patient details are present here. So if you see three scans, can you see them? All are in triplets. So the first thing what you do is, when you have signed up for this particular program or purchased this software, the first thing what you have to do is to extract this data in a structured, formatted manner. There is a particular pattern in which you have to download these particular values. So for that, you have to enter the console, right? JavaScript, like how we used to do for doshas. So you enter the console, and once you do that, you have to, the first file what will be given to you will be your MGF analysis file. So you just have to load this script. It's a JavaScript. What it does is, it gives you the structure of data what we need from these three scans, right? It's going to calculate, it's going to do all the types of checks, etc. Major check what it does is for calibration. So that's one of the most significant part of this particular script. Calibration is something which we take very seriously in clinical practice, right? And then all you have supposed to do is, because you have three scans, remember you have selected three scans, so you have to say run all of them, run all. When you do that, after authorization, you get the data. Initially you will not understand this data, so you simply copy them completely. Once you copy them, it's in your clipboard. You can simply come out of Biowell. Your work is done in Biowell. You understand? So we don't need to sit on with the parametric analysis anymore. Then what you're going to do is, the second application is given to you. This one, either you can do it with website, or online you can do it with browser, or a dedicated app like this is provided. Whether you do it with browser, whether you do it with the app, or I think these are the only two ways. Yes. So first thing, there will be authorization Of course, you will receive your authorization details. So you will have to enter your authorization details. And once you enter your authorization details, your system is on. Right? So this is very important. So authorization is mandatory. Without that, you cannot enter the application. Then you can choose your logo. Now this is again one of the very customizable parts. So because logos are always chosen on the report, so whatever logo you want on the report, you just choose them and that will stay there, and you will be able to use them in near future as well for other reports. Then obviously you have to give the patient name. Which patient did I select? Akash Kia, right? So you just need patient name and 2003. Okay, 23 years. So you will also require, very important is age, right? So Akash Kia, how much was it? 23 years. And you can select this. Of course, now you want multiple languages. So right now by default English is given. Okay, by default it is English. Suppose you want any other languages, like you want a French language, right? So all that you have to do, comma, French. So you will get English on top, below that you will have a French translation of that. Otherwise you just want a French report, you can simply say French. It's just an example. You can give any language you want. Whatever is applicable through left to right will be always best suited. Okay, so that's the part. Let's continue with English for now. And then whatever data you got from the Bible, just now we copied the data, you just have to paste the data here. Sorry, just have to paste the data here, right? And now you have 2 to 3 options, right? For example, if the patient is of your own location, say for example you are in Thailand and patient also belongs to Thailand, it doesn't matter. The diet will be connected with that particular region. Suppose you are in Thailand and a patient comes from India, or I am in India, I get a patient from say Malaysia or from US. So you know their food habits are totally different, their culture is totally different, their lifestyle will be totally different. So at the beginning of the interpretation itself, we know that the person doesn't belong to my location. So what you can do is, in the diet and region guidance, in such cases only, you have an option to put in their location. For example, if you are from Australia, I just say Australia. Do you get this? So regional guidance. So from which place is that person? He is from Australia. I am in India. So diet considerations will be taken for Australia. Are we able to get this? You can always get it afterwards also, but still initially so you can do this option. It is not mandatory. You can do it later as well. Right? Option number 2, if you know why the patient has come to you, what is the symptom? Like for example, let's say back pain or knee difficulty or knee pain, something like this. Or somebody may say, I have forgetfulness. So you write forgetfulness. Whatever the patient says, don't write diagnosis here. Just why the patient has come to you. And then you have third option. You can take a patient friendly report or a simply technical therapeutic report. Everything is done in a single form like this. Right? And then I say generate interpretation. The moment I click generate interpretation, right? So 1 minute. I think the web page is not opening. 1 minute. I will just instead of this I use a web page. No, this is an image. Okay. And age was 23, of course, and he was male, and of course I can paste the data. I have to choose the logo first time. That's it, right? And diet is optional, and of course you can give the necessary symptoms: back pain, knee pain, etc., whatever it is. Then you have patient friendly or therapeutic, as it is. So we are moving with the patient friendly, and I just say generate into play. Now what it does, the application, it takes you to engine which deals with these type of data, right? It is not going to take to a general GPT. It's going to go very specific with the patient details, whatever it is. So, and then I just copy the details whatever I got from the previous section and just give it to GPT. Now remember, this is an engine and it gives you a data in a particular format what I want the report to be generated. But name is name, that is going to be, everything is same. It's not going to tell this is the value, that is the value. No, it's not reproducing the values and putting in the reports. No, it's going to generate a complete interpretation. Interpretation is a complete artificial intelligence which has been involved, and it is customized to every patient. Interpretation is done on three basic principles: region, age, and sex. So age and sex is considered while doing the interpretation part of it. Diet is considered again with region, age, and sex. You cannot have the same diet for a 10-year-old boy and a 70-year-old person. So obviously these three parameters are common in interpretation and diet. Now once your report is completely generated, just come down and copy the response. Come back to your interpretation, and in the interpretation now you can generate a report. Click on that. Now when you want to generate a report, you have different sections, right? You can choose them one by one, or simply what you can say is you can take the full report, whatever you want. That's your choice. Suppose I say I want to generate full, I simply say generate, and there you go. You have the complete report which is generated, right? And the most important part is the language. Though the chart is given to you, the most very important point will be the language. It will talk about the correlation part of it, and also very user friendly. Like you see, sacral imbalance may influence hip tightness and lower limb discomfort including knees. You see, particular, very specific. It's going to pinpoint the weaknesses. So there is a sacral imbalance and there is a symptom in the patient of back pain and knee pain. So it is going to correlate and give you the result. Like you see, this lumbar, spine, and sacrum strongly correlates with the reported back pain. May indicate chronic muscular tension, postural imbalance, and overloading of lower back structures. Very easy to understand, and very correlative. It also gives you the status of the patient at this moment. What is the status? This color is connected with your Bible interpretation. So that's the reason why we have not put the meaning here, because already in Bible interpretation, during our Bible advanced classes, we have explained what this color means. What do you mean by average deviation? What do you mean by strong deviations? And how does the Bible reflect these colors? So exactly the same way it's going to show up with the color. And very important is the indication of QA, the quadra analysis. And you see, when in all the three scans there is a repeatability of the quadra. If any quadra is repeating in all the three scans, then it is a very significant finding in Bible. So that is very clearly indicated. If even in two scans it is repeating and in the third scan it is not repeating, then you should consider that clinically. There could be a clinical adaptation, or there could be some functional disturbance happening. You will have to go through that. So it will not highlight that it's just say not available or not applicable. Then you will have to come down to your quadra table here. You have the quadra analysis table, you see. And here it says no single quadra showed dominant conformation. The body appears to shift stress response between multiple energetic systems. This often occurs in individuals with chronic stress adaptation and inconsistent recovery. Physical and emotional systems appear interconnected rather than isolated. So quadra is always, remember, it's a combination of data what you're going to get. So if it is not repeating in all of them, then obviously there is some functional adaptability, some functional change which must be happening in these sectors. So you can see again what is the result of that, what is the analysis part what you're doing, and whether it is moderately repeatable or it is strongly repeatable. So if it is strongly repeatable, that is the quadra you have to concentrate. Right. Similarly, you have chakra comparison and chakra insights for every chakra which is either deviated or overstimulated. You have the details as per the patient language again. Okay. Now you see Muladhara chakra, root chakra, strong related to lower back stability, grounding and physical security. Congestion here strongly supports back pain patterns and may indicate physical stress accumulation and survival mode tensions. So some simple terms which have been taken, and it gives you including the emotional expression. As I told you, autonomic balance, very important, and understanding this sympathetic and parasympathetic is highly indicative in a report, right? So you say all scans showed sympathetic dominance. Simple. So there is a sympathetic dominance. So what happens under sympathetic dominance? The nervous system appears to remain in a heightened alert state. This can increase muscle tension, reduce recovery quality and amplify pain perceptions. You see, if you have a pain, the understanding or the feeling of the pain, the symptom will aggravate. That's the meaning of that. Common effects include body stiffness, fatigueness, shallow relaxation and stress sensitivity. With such scan where you have strong sympathetic and the symptoms related, it correlates and it tells you what could happen. Personalized energy response, common observed experiences. If the scan is like this, what is the common problems you can have? Lower back tightness after sitting or stress. The person is already complaining of a lower back problem, right? It's the first thing what you can see. Knee discomfort during prolonged standing or activity, body stiffness on walking, mental overthinking, difficulty fully relaxing despite sleep, then internal stress holding, energy fluctuations during busy periods and muscle tightness in neck, jaws, hips, etc. So you have a lifestyle tab interpretation. What happens there? Advanced energy protocols, that is depending on your therapies what you give. You can say which are the therapies which are going to help in this particular patterns. So very simple, lower back and sacral compression therapies can be done, kidney bladder meridian balancing has to be done, then posture and gait correction support can be done. So like this, it gives you the balancing patterns. Then the most important part is, with such a type of scan, what should be the diet which the patient has to follow. First thing, it gives you a general information. Avoid prolonged sitting, all these are general information. But look at the food what it gives. Under such consideration, you have to avoid deep fried foods, heavy junk foods, excess spicy foods, processed snacks, sugary foods. But what you can take, moong dal, khichdi, right, paneer, light home meals, protein rich foods is recommended. Under vegetables, you have all the vegetables which are mentioned there, which are readily available at the location. Right now the location is connected with my Mysore center. Then you have the fruits, what he can take, what he is supposed to take, pinpoint. Okay, we don't simply say vata diet or pitta diet, nothing like that. So you have like this. Then you have juices, etc. So warm water, because it's saying warm water, so it should be connected with the vata deviation. And then you have the lifestyle suggestions and disclaimer. So this is a very comprehensive report what you get of the patient. Now, is this all the software does? No. There is something. You can just save this, and of course you see the logo will be placed there. It's completely branded and customized, no problem in that. So for the time being, I just save this in my desktop as patient report. Okay, now that is done. Now the second very important thing is modifications to this. Now if you see, this update diet has become activated. Now what you can do is, after looking at the report, you know that, oh, this person motion might be having a problem, excretory, ask him, how is your bowel movement, how is your sleep. Yeah, we ask the patient, and then he may say that yes, my bowel movement is having a little bit of heat, so stools are tight, or I have a feeling of constipation, etc. So as a therapist, you know what type of diet is prescribed for him, right? So we say vata less, so any food which can bring down the dryness in the body, because mobility, lower back pain, knee pain is all connected with vata. So we say vata less diet, or simply say avoid vata food, right? Now you may say, oh, if I say avoid vata food, is it sufficient? Right? 100% enough. If you say avoid vata food, it knows what to do. I will show you the diet chart. Or under certain circumstances, we say use Jain food for 1 week. What is Jain food? Right? So there are certain limitations for every recipe which is prepared, and depending on the availability of the food in my region, it's going to give this. So see, you don't need to get into the depth of Ayurveda. You can say, okay, the dryness has to reduce. If you want, in your own language, you say avoid drying food. Any food which dries the body, you should avoid. Simple. Right? Then you can say improve digestion. Or most importantly, we can say along with this, detox diet. Right? You don't need to know what it is. You simply say detox diet. Avoid vata food and detox diet. Now I simply say update the diet. It is going to take to another GPT which connects primarily with the diet. Then you just have to place this, whatever you have got from here, and simply say place it. It's going to do the same activity, but this time it will concentrate only on diet. Remaining whatever is the parameter, it's going to just copy as it is. what you got from the previous report, same thing it will copy, excepting the diet. The diet is completely regenerated based on what you have asked for. Am I clear? So because we asked for a vata devoid diet or a detox diet, plus, it's not or, it's plus. So based on that, it's going to give me a chart. Which food to take, which food to avoid, which vegetable to take, which vegetable to avoid, right? And it is continuous process. Whatever you want, to any extent of clarity you want, you can get into the system and you can take n number of such explanations from GPT. All that what you have to do is, after you get this report, if you, for example, want only vegetables to be avoided, or only fruits to be avoided, or you want to introduce something to the patient, whatever you want, you can give there, right? So that tab is more than sufficient to take tremendous amount of information from you, as well as a clinical aspect, because software doesn't know what the patient is. It is the clinician who's going to decide what he requires. So you can do that, right? And of course, in our training programs, we will teach you how to get protocols for the therapies. For example, you want to do a guasa therapy for this patient, where you should do the complete protocols you can take. Am I clear? So all these informations we are going to teach you in the training part of it. But for now, let's see if we have got the reports. Is this the one? Yeah. So it's completed. So I just copy this, and then I come back here. I say generate report now, but this time I will take diet report so that it's more specific for me. Already I have all the other reports with me. Only diet report, I choose diet. I simply say generate. And now you see it is a diet report based on what you wanted. Lifestyle suggestions accordingly, plus the entire diet chart. Right? As per what you have asked. Look at this. General information. Avoid vata aggravating food. Avoid fasting or detox diets. Avoid cold refrigerated meals. Obviously, vata, you have to reduce the cold meals. Avoid irregular meal timings and late night eating. What you should do? Eat warm, freshly cooked meals. Maintain regular meal timings. Prefer easily digestible food, drink warm water frequently, and support digestion with light spices. Right? Remember, we also have given detox part of it. So, under food, excess dry foods, instant noodles, bakery snacks, deep fried foods, cold salads at night, excess non-veg oily foods, and carbonated drinks are to be avoided. What you can take is here: moong dal khichdi, rice with ghee is very important, soft chapatis with dal, idli with sambar, vegetable upma. So like these, depending on our daytime, whatever you want, you have here. Then you have the vegetables, then you have the fruits, then you have the juices. And remember, this list is more than sufficient, because he is not going to take anything beyond this. So this is easily available, readily available in the market for him. And nuts and healthy additions. This is a addition part which ChatGPT has added on its own. It is soaked almonds, black sesame, walnuts, small quantity of ghee, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds. So additionally, what it has added. So it creates a diet combination, and it gives you with all the indications of it in the lifestyle suggestions. Not just a diet, you have to follow this, the lifestyle as well. So it gives you which you can definitely save as a PDF. You can simply say a diet chart. Right? So then you, for example, you want some more refinement. Let's say you want a diet chart. You can take a diet chart for next 7 days. Right? You will get that. Depending on for the next 7 days what is to be taken, what is not to be taken, and a particular chart will be prepared. So this tab will give you the customization under all aspects. Is it clear? So diet is something which is very important, and it gives you preliminarily the important ingredients to the patient. Now if you want, this is a patient friendly, you can also take a technical report. Simply click this button here, technical, right? Then you say, now you know the symptoms as it is. With the finding, you also in the diet you see avoid vata diet. That's it. So it's not avoid vata diet. So you should take avoid diet which brings down the vata. So you can, in simple terms, you can say take more of a pitta diet or a kapha diet, but less of vata. So less vata diet. That's a better word to be used. Okay. Now remaining everything remains same. We are not going to change anything. And now it's going to take for a technical or therapist report. Generate interpretation, same procedure. The procedure remains the same. Now you will be taken to another GPT, which is functionally doing the same thing, but in a more technical way. So the same report you can generate with more technicalities. Starting everything will remain the same, but the interpretation part is going to change drastically. Right? These reports are better understood for therapists, and also for you in getting more and more refinement of the therapies or protocols. What you need separately, you can take it from here. Okay, so it's also going to generate a same report, and it's going to create a technical report for us, or the words which are used are more technical in nature. Is it clear? So ultimately, after this, the report is generated. Copy this, same, come back to the application, generate the report. So you select all of them, right, and then generate. There you go, your report is ready, technical report. Now let's see what difference does it make. Right, look at this, please. In the protocols, it told something in the patient record, isn't it? Patient file, it told that these sections you have to choose, etc. But look at the technical reports. Guasa therapy. In Guasa therapy, because I do Guasa therapy in my center, so Guasa therapy, what I am supposed to focus on lumbar spine, sacrum, paraspinal muscles, posterior knee pathways. Look, so simple. The protocols are given, right? There is no meaning of this protocol for a patient, so it doesn't give that. Support liver and gallbladder tendon pathways for knee stiffness reduction. This you will not get in any books also, because we call it as sinews. If you have attended my earlier classes on Zhang Fu, I would have taught you about sinews. Sinews means tendons. So tendons are spread across the body, which are in fact connected with the muscles, and the muscle stiffness or the joint movement stiffness can be reduced when you work on the sinews. So this is a sinew one. Address left cervical jaw tension patterns. left cervical jaw, this area, pinpoint location. When you do terahertz, focus on kidney bladder meridian pathways for lower back energetic stabilization. So you don't need anything beyond this. This is something which is like a ready-made therapy given to me. And why it's giving only Guasa and terahertz? Because I have put only these two. I use these two. And look at that, repeated therapy focus areas: lumbar spine, sacrum, kidney bladder pathway, liver gallbladder pathway, immune modulation support, and sympathetic autonomic regulation. So you have to bring down that sympathetic activity. So clearly it is mentioned advanced protocol, clinician use only. You understand? So the report is changed. And let's look at the language it gives. Commonly observed experiences: morning stiffness or lower back tightness possible. Physical fatigue after prolonged sitting and standing may occur. Intermittent knee strain during exertion on stair climbing possible. Stair climbing, very specific, not while getting down the stairs, but while getting up the stairs. Right? So, this report is completely different from what is generated for a patient. Right? Look at this. In the final pattern of chakras, it says stable congestion but not aligned. The patient will never understand what is congestion. But as a clinician, you understand what is a congestion. So here you see same thing. Mooladhara congestion strongly correlates with lower back discomfort, physical insecurity, and reduced grounding reserves. Right? The same thing is put in a different language for patient. But here the amount of information what you are getting is tremendous. Right? Similarly, meridian interpretation, quadrameridian interpretations, sector interpretation is very, very informative in technical reports. Right? Then filtered sector tables, clearly it gives what it is. Then findings: repeated involvement observed in lumbar spine and sacrum sectors, supporting repeated back pains. So, reported back pain, sorry. The word sectors is a technical term from Bible. It is never used in patient's report. Immune system demonstrated strong reproducible adaptive activity across the scans, which means there is a reproducible activity which is seen. It is repeated in multiple scans. So that's a part what is being demonstrated there, what's been given. So this gives you a very beautiful report, especially for technical analysis. Right? So you can, I'll just save this as technical. That's it. And these reports can again be further modified. If the patient says, I have giddiness, you can add giddiness. If he forgets and says that since 5 years I am a diabetic and I am taking medicine, write that. Whatever the patient says will go into the symptoms. Right? And that can modify your report further. Right? And beyond this, obviously, this application is updated at a regular pace as per requirement of the clinic. It's a clinical practice application. Right? We don't, it is not a standalone application, but it is a clinical practitioner's application. So this whole update, this comes under version 3 of the development, version 3, and it's a professional deployment edition. And obviously you will all be getting this version 3, those who are purchasing, and of course those who have already purchased. So the details of the purchases, those who have already purchased, that is already there with us, and so we will be updating you shortly with this particular application. And we have made it very clear that this is a reporting application, so no data of this will be saved in any servers or anywhere. GPT is very, very clear about the privacy policy. None of the data is going to get saved anywhere. Even on your system you will not have the data. What you load, you get the information and you save it. That's it. That's how it has been designed, right? And it's going to fulfill the majority of the interpretation issues what we may be facing in clinical practice, and it gives you a very special dimension to Bible application. When you're using Bible, this makes it tremendously meaningful for using such a device, and also accurate results what you can get from Bible is enhanced, right? So this is the application all about, and of course it's available in desktop and web version. Web version is easy to use. There is no limitations of operating system. You can use in any system. Of course, the desktop version they will have some lacunae. I use the web version, and we have been using this since past a week or so, and we have got tremendous results out of it. We are using it regularly in our centers, in our clinic, right? Anybody have any doubts about this? I can give you explanation. Any doubts? For those who have already purchased, you already have received your updated JavaScript file, right? And Yogi ji, since you have requested, so I have put the request to the team, so they will be forwarding this your JavaScript file to you, right? Please keep it safely. It's very important, right? And with the same report, what you are going to get, same JavaScript, your entire software will be updated, and once the software is updated for you, automatically it becomes a beautiful section to work. All I request you is, for those who have already purchased, start using it, right? And you start learning every day with it. And obviously the different types of reports what you get, the different type of experience what you get from application is remarkable, because you are going to work with GPT, you are going to work with AI, right? And I am sure that you are going to make use of it in your clinical practice, right? Thank you very much for joining with me. You have any particular doubts, if you want, you can write a message to me. I'll be able to reply to you. And this video will be in a public domain in YouTube, so whenever you find time, you can rewatch it for the entire process. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yes.
Happy congratulations for achieving this.
Thank you very
You
much.
have simply made life so easy, and it's not just easy, but it's going to save so much time. So, thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you very
It's
much.
amazing.
Yeah. And let me just tell you about the coming update. The coming update, we are working on Ayurveda. So, Ayurveda is one of our lifestyle mechanisms. So, we are working in such a way that a Biovel report is going to talk about Ayurvedic interpretation on an individual, which is already done. You have a dosha tab, but dosha tab just tells you where is the weakness, where is the deviation, etc. But this is going to take entirely into Ayurvedic principles. So we are working on that, and it will be achieved. I know it will be achieved at the earliest. Okay, so all of you enjoy with the application, and yes, practice it. That's it. Thank you very much.